Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
It's episode 28, isn't it?
I wrote it down. Episode 28. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 28 of You Don't Say. And today we've got our country spotlight episode for November. And the country that we're featuring is the Czech Republic. And actually, we have a special guest on from that country. So would you like to introduce yourself?
So hello, my name is Zdenek, and I'm an English teacher from the Czech Republic. So my nationality is Czech. That is also my language, my first language. And well, I have been teaching English for more than 10 years. I have lived in the UK. I taught English there, but most of my career, I would say, I taught in the Czech Republic. I suppose I've been invited to talk about the Czech Republic here. So shall I say something about the country or?
Yeah, well, I guess we've got lots of questions we like to generally cover. So we wanted to start off with how would you say, what would it be like for somebody when they first move there? From the point of view of maybe like the language and the people, maybe would it be easy to make friends? Do you think, like, how could it be for a foreigner moving to the Czech Republic?
I guess it depends where you come from, I think. Yeah. So if you're European, I guess it might be easier for you. Have you been there before? You know, those are all aspects that you might consider. I don't really know. I've never been in such person's shoes, but I suppose, well, we are in the middle of Europe sort of now, after we have recovered from the years of communism. We are more open-minded than we used to be. You know, there's more exposure to different cultures. So I suppose if you arrive in the Czech Republic, you will be in Prague because you fly here in most cases. So, I mean, Prague, you get to meet a lot of foreigners there who speak English and a lot of, let's say, younger Czech people who would speak English, but it's like in every other capital city, I guess. It's not exactly, it doesn't reflect the rest of the country, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And where did you grow up? Are you from Prague or from outside Prague?
Yeah, I was born in Prague and I went to secondary school in Prague. But these days I'm living outside Prague.
Okay. Yeah, I must admit I went to Prague many years ago, but I remember it was quite easy to speak English. The level of English was quite high in the city. So I guess initially you could survive with English. You know, maybe the first period you could survive with English. No.
I'm sure it would be fine, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what's it like to learn Czech as a language? Do you know anybody who's tried to learn the language?
Yeah, so that might be a tough nut to crack. Again, it really depends where you're from. So if you are, let's say, a speaker of a Slavic language, then it will be easier for you. Yeah? If you come from Russia or, I don't know, from one of the countries of former Yugoslavia, then it will be easier. But actually, I did my homework, and before this recording, I looked at a website where they are comparing the languages in terms of its difficulty to learn it from the point of view of an English speaker. And there are 5 categories of the difficulty, and we belong to the 4th one. So it's the second most difficult one.
Oh, okay.
So the reason is, I'd say, because we've got a lot of declinations and verb conjugations and all that. So not the easiest language to learn, but
possible. I mean, like everything it could be possible. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess if you were to live like there for a long period, you would definitely have to learn the language because you wouldn't be able to sort of survive maybe many bureaucratical situations with just English.
Again, it depends, because I know some English teachers who come from America or England whose Czech after years of being here is not what it should be, because they just they could just get by
They're
by speaking English, especially
Yeah.
exactly, especially those that are living in Prague. And they're English teachers, so they teach English. It's what they do most of the time. And I'm an English teacher. I've taught English all my life, but actually 3 months ago, I was asked by one American guy to teach him Czech. I was like, why not? Let me give it a go, you know. And it's actually quite tough. I was surprised how much I was struggling, like to explain the grammar. And I can speak the language, but it's really when you start getting into the nitty-gritty, it's a bit, you know.
Yeah, no, it's
awkward.
It's like what? It's like, why is it like this? You're like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So, Abby, did you want to ask a question?
Yes, I'm curious about what the quality of life is like there. For example, do you have to earn quite a high salary to enjoy like a good quality of life, or not?
Okay, so are you asking me as an English teacher, or okay, listen, I'd say the quality of life is decent. Yeah, we often tend to, like Czech people tend to moan and whine and complain, but I'd say that it's quite decent. Like if you compare it to the rest of the world, it's quite solid. Like obviously we are not as economically as strong as, let's say, Germany, and English teachers would never earn as much as teachers in Belgium or Denmark or countries like those. But I think we have recovered pretty well from the years of communism, which really didn't help us. And so we have been sort of independent, in quotation marks, from the Soviet Union influence for, has it been 30 years, almost 30 years, I believe. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. And you can Google it, listeners.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. And so I think we are doing quite well. We've got quite a good healthcare system. There's some infrastructure. Again, it really depends where you go, right? So we've got our poorer areas as well, which would be more, I would say, in Moravia or the north of the country. But yeah, I think the standards of living are decent.
And what about like the education system? Is it generally people go to public school or private schools?
Yeah, so the good thing about this is that our education is free of charge, and that includes higher education. So if you want to study at a Czech university and you can do it in Czech, you're able to do it in Czech, then it's actually free of charge. Now it's a different story, obviously. If you want to join one of the English programs, then it's going to be for a fee. But this is good because it's pretty much equal opportunity, right? As long as you can speak the language.
Yeah. So it's a good motivation. Yeah.
Yep.
And so you said the health system is good as well, and that's public too.
Yeah. And there's one more thing I should probably say. If you Google Czech Republic and have a look at I don't know what exactly it is called, but something like a safety index or something like that.
Yeah.
So we are scoring really high on that. We have been so for a lot of years. So it's pretty safe to live in this country.
Okay.
Yeah, like we are talking about the crime rate, and if anything happens, it's usually some sort of petty crime, like a what's the word?
Petty crime.
Petty crime, so not pity.
Yeah.
petty, that's a different word, right?
Yeah.
Petty crime, so maybe you might have some occasional pickpockets and stuff like that, but when it comes to murders and stuff like that, it doesn't happen here much, really. I don't want to jinx it, touch wood.
No major massacres or anything like that.
No, not really.
Yeah. And so I think everybody these days, I don't know, like many countries are complaining and whining, as you said, but do you think Czechs are bigger complainers than other cultures, or you think?
I'd say so, yeah. And I think that's something we have in common with the British people, actually, because you see, I have lived in the UK, I have met a lot of British people, and I really like British people, but this is something we are quite similar in. Yeah, we tend to be a little bit like that. Yeah,
so like more on the pessimistic side than the optimistic.
Definitely more than we should be. Yeah.
Okay. So, and what about like a classic food, something that like, you know,
Okay.
if I go to Czech Republic, I should eat.
So that kind of segues into from the previous thing we discussed, because I'm not going to speak nicely of Czech food right now. So
good. You clear. You've said lots of positive things. Now you can say the bad things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's very unhealthy. It's fatty. I'm speaking for myself, but honestly, like, you can't compare it to like to the Mediterranean food or French food or Italian, Greek food. It's just it's not that good. Like, there are a lot of I wanted to say components, because you see I'm into board games, but no, ingredients. There are a lot of ingredients that we probably shouldn't use. We have a lot of like strange side dishes like dumplings and a lot of potatoes. So we generally don't tend to go for the healthy stuff. There's a lot of meat, especially the red meat. And so it's very fatty, unhealthy. And the traditional Czech dish could be something like dumplings with pork and cabbage. Cabbage is the healthiest thing about it.
And then you have vegetables.
This, exactly. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. And then you have this fried cheese speciality, which foreigners, like, if you even like Google some videos on YouTube of foreigners sort of giving reviews about Czech food, they would always mention this fried cheese, which is like cottage cheese. It's just, for me, you see, I was okay with it when I was growing up, but these days when I can look at things with the benefit of the hindsight, I can see that it doesn't make much sense, really. This is extremely unhealthy, not as tasty as it could be, and it's just weird. Yeah.
So what is it? Like, you take cheese and fry it, or? Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Wow. I mean, Abby can't say anything. She's from the country where they fry Mars bars. Yeah.
Okay.
In Scotland, though.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Isn't it England as well? Yeah. Yeah, I heard that it's actually started in England, but the Scottish tried to claim it. But I think there's a bit of like,
rivalry.
Argument over, but you know, you can just blame the Scots, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, fried cheese. I mean, I don't know. It can be good, I think. Like, but if someone else does, is it the French? They do fried camembert, or is that no? Someone does fried camembert, don't they?
I think it's.
They definitely do cheese, right?
Yeah, but definitely do cheese. Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah. So what about? So you're not so unhealthy. You've taken to eating some other vegetables, or?
Well, yeah, I would like to think so, but that has also been a process, right? I had to arrive at that place at some point of my life. So I used to eat in an unhealthy way as every other ordinary Czech, I would say. But these days I want to be more food conscious, if that's a word.
Yeah. But I mean, it's always hard to go, like when you're a tourist and you go to some countries and you see, like, maybe you go to a typical restaurant, a Czech restaurant, and they serve the typical dishes. So you can see lots of meat, potato, cabbage. And there it crosses your mind. It's like, well, what do real people eat? You know, like, do they really eat so much meat? And, you know, like, it's always a question, like, people always ask Italians, do you really eat pasta every day, kind of thing? Yeah. I mean, it's true. Italians eat pasta every day. But I don't know, like, do Czech people eat, like, heavy meat and potatoes every day? Do you really think? Or?
You know what? I think the habits are kind of changing, you know, now that the world is sort of globalized. And I think it's getting better. A lot of people are going vegan. I'm not implying that it's necessarily the best thing to do, but you know what I mean. Like people are
more vegetables is a better thing.
They think about this a bit more. But you know what? Like if you talk to Italians, they would always be super proud of their, and rightly so, by the way, super proud of their cuisine and how they cook and the pizza and all that. The same with the French, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Czech people would ever. I honestly don't know. I'm probably not doing.
Question.
I'm probably not doing justice to my to my cuisine now, but I don't know.
It's true. Like, I mean, it's just a question of the culture too. Like, I don't think Australians talk about their cuisine either. Like, Australian food is the best. Like, just some cultures have a more dominant food culture. Probably it's not as important. No,
I don't think so. But then again, I'm speaking just for myself. But I don't think this is the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. We'll just put the podcast out there, and if we get lots of angry people, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well. I might come under heavy criticism after this episode from my Czech countrymen.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Have you got any more questions, Abby?
Yeah, just one more question. So, like, in your opinion, what is it that surprises foreigners most when they first visit the Czech Republic?
That's a good question. I suppose the foreigners will start speaking English to us, yeah? So what could happen to you if you are a tourist? Some Czech people just chicken out when they hear English. Yeah, so that's one of the negative traits of Czech people. Sometimes we can be a little bit cowardly, let's say, when it comes to like speaking foreign languages, because we don't want to make fools of ourselves. So I know this very well as an English teacher. So I know the mentality of a Czech learner. Yeah. So that would be the last thing you would want to do in most cases, to speak English. Now it's changing, and the younger generations are much better at this, right, these days. Yeah. So there's more exposure to English language and more interaction with people speaking English. But I'd say this is maybe something that might sort of like strike you. If you start speaking to Czech people, like you might ask for the direction, yeah, to get somewhere, and then either the answer of Czech people might be very snappy and just, you know, they might not say much, or they might even sort of turn away and leave you there. And it's not that it's not that they are unfriendly. It's just they are so ashamed to speak English and they don't have that confidence. And it's not even true. Like they have good enough English to do it, but it's just the fact that, you know, they don't want to come across as stupid or something like that.
Oh.
So you have to be careful not to interpret it as not friendly, just maybe actually shy. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably in many countries, I guess. So, but yeah, would you say generally when you get to know Czech people, they're generally friendly? It can be easy to get to know Czech people?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, yeah. Again, like comparing this to people I met in London, but again, it's a bit of a melting pot there, right? It's not, doesn't exactly reflect the whole country, but I'd say we might not be as open-minded as people in London. Again, I'm speaking in a negative way, but that's again probably because of the lack of exposure to different cultures because of the years of communism. Yeah. But it is getting better, and the younger generations are a little bit different in that. And
yeah. Okay. So what do you think, Abby? Would you, I don't know, give it a go in 6 months in Czech Republic? Oh, we forgot to ask, what's the weather like?
Yeah. That's the decider.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, it's mild. It's sort of like you can experience all different seasons here, and as everywhere, the summers seem to be getting a bit warmer these years, and winters are not as cold as they used to be. So it's all right. I mean, in terms of weather, I think we are not doing so badly.
Okay. Did you get snow in winter?
So unfortunately, not as much as we used to.
Okay.
But you may experience some snow if you go to Czech mountains or highlands, but only in winter, obviously.
Okay, so it's not. And then rain, is it rainy?
Well, not as much as in England, but it's like it's different kind of rain, you know. It's
Okay.
different kind of rain. So in England or in the UK, it would be more about like showers, which don't last so long, and there's a certain degree of unpredictability to the English weather as well, and that's sort of because of the geographical location, right? So we are a landlocked country, so we don't have any seas, and that's why, like when it rains here, it can rain the whole day or even a few days. But then again, recently it hasn't been so. It hasn't been like that. So I don't know, the global warming or something is changing.
You never
definitely.
know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what do you reckon, Abby? It's not maybe the rain is not as bad. Temperature could be milder. Yeah.
Definitely a plus point. But
I hope I haven't been too negative, you know. Like,
you were selling it to me, and then you started talking about the food.
Oh yeah.
And it started upsetting me. So
but that's like, we're talking about the traditional Czech food, right?
Okay.
So,
but I must admit, I got the impression that Prague was quite international, so you could
absolutely
get a lot of different cuisines there. So
yes,
I think,
of course. Yeah. Of course you can. Yeah.
Well, in that case, then
we have Marks and Spencer here as well. Don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. I from my memories of Prague, it was a really nice city, not too big as well. So it could be, I'd probably give it a go. I would probably struggle with the fact that it is a landlocked country. That would, you know, being from Australia, from the sea, now living by the sea now, it'd be tough for the long term, I think. Yeah. What do you think, Abby?
I think I could do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Zdenek.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'd just like to finish off a little bit for our listeners, because we actually met because we got talking about teaching English and doing things a bit differently. And I got curious about what you actually do, which is teaching English through board games. So could you tell our listeners a little bit about how you do that?
Yeah, so I've always used board games in my English classes, but we're talking about physical classrooms, right? So since the coronavirus happened, I have decided to create an English course. It's pretty much about me teaching English using board games online. So we've got groups of students or I call them participants, and I try to show them how they can learn English with board games, and it's a fantastic way to get some sort of regular speaking practice into their life, because a lot of students or English learners, they just don't speak English enough. Yeah, they might listen to a lot of podcasts, including yours and mine, but they don't do enough practice for one reason or another. And often it might be because they don't have opportunities to make friends, or they might be a bit shy. So that's where I come in, I suppose. And I want to show people that they can do that via, they can make friends via playing games, and they can learn in the process. So,
So how does it work? You have like groups and you play one particular game together?
Yeah, so each of the sessions of this course is dedicated to one particular game. I always try to go for games that sort of promote, let's say, that force you to speak a lot. Yeah, that there's a lot of communication and interaction involved, and so we not only do we play games, but I also teach the language. So there's some grammar or vocabulary focus as well, and that's what I do before the game. So then when the students are sort of equipped, they play with other participants, and I observe those games. So I help them with the rules and take down notes and give them feedback, like error correction and stuff like that. After these sessions.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I need something like that in, I don't know, Spanish board games. Come on, invent it. What about you? Are you learning any languages yourself?
Are you talking me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah,
not really.
No.
I would say I'm still learning English, you see, because I'm an English teacher, but you will never stop learning English. So
yeah, because I imagine in board games, sometimes there can be kind of like quite particular vocabulary too, describing like instruments or tools of some. Yeah.
So there is certain jargon, let's say, involved, but there's also a lot of vocabulary, like everyday vocabulary, and I like to teach functional language a lot through board games. So you've got games that are about debating, and so you might teach something like language for agreeing, disagreeing, or interrupting. So yes and no, there's some technical language in board games, of course, but it really depends what sort of games you play, because there are so many different genres. And so many different levels and aspects to this.
Great. So for listeners that are interested, we'll put a note in the show notes. You can check out Zdenek's website if you'd like to do something like that. And I think that's it for today, Abby.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else we need to say?
I think that's it. No. Just
all right
for our next Country Spotlight episode in December.
Exactly. Don't forget to vote for the country that you want to hear more about. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, well, that's it.